No matter how experienced you think you are, when you're boating, you've got to be prepared. Accidents can happen to anyone. It happened to me. Sure, as a Navy diver, I was trained to survive, but I still needed rescuing. It was a pretty close call.
If you can't contact us, we can't rescue you. Stay on top with communications equipment.
Throughout the world, emergency locator beacons have had a major impact in reducing the time it takes to rescue people in emergencies. Marine beacons used on all vessels are called EPIRBs, which stands for Emergency Position Indicating Radio Beacon. While on land, many trappers use a PLB, which is a personal locator beacon. Many sailors take this to sea with them as well, in case they fall overboard, but any vessel should also have on board an EPIRB. This EPIRB has a much larger battery and is specifically designed for the marine environment. Signals from emergency beacons are picked up by satellite, but if you have one of these, 121.5 megahertz EPIRBs, you are unlikely to be rescued. The only type of EPIRB or PLB that can be detected after the 1st of February 2009 is the 406 type. If you don't have a 406, don't expect help from your emergency beacon. And dispose of your old one so no one else tries to use it. .406 megahertz emergency beacons work by transmitting the beacon's unique code to a dedicated satellite as soon as it's activated. If you've not registered your beacon number, Maritime New Zealand's Rescue Coordination Centre in Wellington will have no idea who you are or what sort of vessel you're on, and it'll take longer to decide what sort of response is needed. When you switch on the beacon, the Rescue Centre will receive the first alert within minutes and begin the rescue process. All emergency beacon alerts in New Zealand's area are coordinated by the centre in Wellington. Their area stretches from mid-Tasman to halfway to South America, and from the Pacific Islands to Antarctica. As soon as the alert is received at the centre, checking with the contact shown on the beacon registration form will quickly establish whether or not a rescue is needed.
First we'll hear of a 406 beacon alert. Will be a message on the screen here, and that will give us the details of the beacon's identifying code, and we will then go to a database to check the owners of that beacon.
90% of beacon alerts are accidental activations, often from a boat on shore or in a marina. The Rescue Centre will employ the most appropriate resources, but that decision depends on being able to find out when you left, how many people are on board, and the boat they're looking for. With a 406 beacon alert, the exact location can take up to an hour or two to be processed from the satellite network. But in this case, the Rescue Centre was able to establish straight away that the yacht had left from Auckland.
It's Keith Allen from the Rescue Coordination Centre here. Look, we've got a 406 beacon alert. The beacon comes back to a 50-foot wooden yacht, the Victoria. The position we've got is to the north of Auckland, and we're wondering what your availability is. Crew ready, and if you call us just prior to takeoff, we'll give you a confirmed position.
And the helicopter was dispatched without any delay. But that would not have been possible if the owner had not kept the registration details of the 406 beacon up to date. It's free to register and can be done online at www.beacons.org.nz by filling in the registration form. Your beacon supplier can also help with this. It's important to purchase an emergency beacon that's coded for New Zealand. If you purchase one from overseas, from a private source, or perhaps it's been on the boat when you bought it, it may be coded for another country. Many people have been rescued by using 406 MHz beacons. When the French trimaran Groupama capsized 80 miles east of Dunedin, helicopters were on site within a couple of hours to lift all 10 crew to safety, and Maritime New Zealand issued a coastal warning to warn other vessels of the capsized yacht. Standard 406 type emergency beacons can be detected much faster than the older type beacons, and your position can be determined to within about 5 kilometres from the satellite signal. Some 406 MHz EPIRBs also incorporate GPS, which can pinpoint your position to within about 30 metres.
Okay, this unit has the GPS function in it, and you pay a few extra dollars for it, but it's much quicker and much more accurate in terms of giving a position.
The extra cost isn't great, and within minutes the Rescue Coordination Centre will know you're in distress and know exactly where you are. This can save valuable minutes in cold seas and increases the likelihood of you and your crew surviving an emergency situation. Stow your 406 beacon on board, where you can grab it in any sudden emergency. But also make sure it's not going to be activated accidentally, for example by someone knocking against it when the boat rolls. And make sure it can't be lost overboard. Some are fitted with a water-activated device, which releases and activates the beacon automatically when the boat sinks or is capsized. Make sure you understand exactly how your 406 beacon works. Emergencies often occur at night and in bad weather when it's too late to start reading instructions. Make sure you carry out the self-test function or any other maintenance your beacon requires. If you have any questions or queries, you can find out more information by going to www.beacons.org.nz. You can consult your handbook, or you can go to Maritime New Zealand. If you're heading inland, perhaps tramping or kayaking on rivers and lakes where there's no radio or phone coverage, then a personal locator beacon, a PLB, is one way you may be rescued if you're in trouble. In deep ravines and valleys, the ability for the signal to be detected is limited. The higher you can get, and the more sky you can see, especially to the north of you, the sooner the signal will be detected. Whatever sort of emergency you have, at sea or on land, once you've switched on your 406 beacon, do not switch it off. The signal not only sends a message via satellite, but it's also used to home in by aircraft or helicopters. And if by chance your beacon's activated by accident, then tell Maritime Radio, the police or Coast Guard so we can ensure rescue services are not wasted, just when there may be someone else in need. In summary, get a 406 beacon. It's more reliable and more accurate. Register it and keep the details up to date. Stow it in the best place, know how to activate it. Take a marine VHF radio as well so you can describe the type of distress. And keep your cell phone in your pocket in a plastic bag as backup to your beacon and radio.